So I have no idea why, but from the moment I saw the teaser trailer for Underwater, for some reason I just had to see it. I have no idea why. There's nothing special about that trailer. There's nothing going on that really blew my mind or anything like that. But I guess maybe the aesthetic or something like that. I had it in my head I wanted to see that movie, um, and I had friends that told me, "Don't waste your time. Don't bother. It's not worth your time." And then I would go on to media sites that I follow, and they were really putting the movie over. So I was like, I mean, maybe it's a divisive thing. It was like rocking a 47 on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that I give that any stock, but I thought maybe it's for me. Maybe this will work out. So I wanted to see it in the theater when it came out. Unfortunately, it didn't come here, so I had to wait for VOD. And it came out I think Tuesday past on VOD, so I watched it there last week. And yeah, I should have listened to my friends. I did not enjoy the film very much. But to talk about it a little bit, it was I can't even remember the director's name right now, and I really don't want to look it up. So it might appear on the screen in text or something right now. But it was Kristen Stewart was the main actress in the film. There was I remember Vincent Cassel was in there. I cannot remember her name right now, but she was on Iron Fist. I want to say her name was Jessica Hargrove. And then there's a few other people that T.J. Miller was in there. And essentially the story is that there's this mining facility deep down underwater, like 7 miles down in the Marianas Trench. And the film opens with an earthquake which causes severe damage to, I guess it's where the people live, maybe not where they're drilling, but like where they live in this base, whatever you want to call it, and that kind of sets the movie off, and it happens pretty much right away. And I just like I get the idea. It's like we're gonna start off with a bang. We're gonna get going right away, and we're just gonna go from there. And it's a cool idea. It's just that for this type of movie, when you've got these people and they're in this like kind of they're stuck together and they're supposed to be tight knit and you're supposed to get all that. I feel like maybe like 15 minutes of exposition to let us know who they are and their relationships and all that stuff is kind of necessary. Especially in this movie, you get the vibe that they know each other, but sometimes I was like, maybe they don't really even know each other. Maybe there's a lot of people down here, and they don't know one another from Adam and Eve, and that's not necessarily true as you start to watch the movie. And I guess I get that too, like petering out the exposition and letting us learn more about the people as it goes and stuff like that. That's fine, but I just didn't think it was well executed in this movie. I really would have liked to known where everybody, were they friends? What were their jobs even? Sometimes I don't know what they were even supposed to be doing down there. And just some information about the setting even. You pick up bits and pieces from the opening credits, and then like you'll see like maps and you'll see documents and things like that, and the conversations the cast have. You get the idea of where they are and what's the purpose and all that stuff as it goes, which is also fine. But again, just for some reason for me, it was just not well executed in this movie. I don't often get confused, and there were times where I was confused, so I don't think that things were going quite right. And I watched the trailer right before I watched the movie, and I had seen it before, of course, like I said, but my wife wanted to know what she was getting into. We were going to watch it together, so I put on the trailer. And then I watched the movie, and there's actually a part in the trailer where there's like a voiceover, and this person's describing, it sounds like it's describing to people, like, you're going to be going down here, and it's going to be like this, or whatever. And that's not in the movie whatsoever. There's no opportunity for that. So I don't know if there's like a different cut of this movie, or if they just did that for the trailer, or what the deal is. But I feel like if there is another cut of this movie that gives you that upfront exposition a little bit and gets you kind of set up, that would be an edit I would be much more interested in watching than this one. And I'm not saying that I want to watch more of this movie. It was an hour and 35 minutes, and I think that was probably just fine. But maybe change some things up and add a little bit of something up front to let us know what's going on. It just, I don't know. The way the movie started just kind of just didn't work for me. I think the reason that I wanted to watch the movie is probably the aesthetic. It has like a bit of an alien vibe, and not to say that the movie, like, I think people have said, oh, it's basically Alien underwater, and I don't think that's true. It's not the same kind of movie at all, but it does have a bit of the aesthetic, I guess, that kind of lo-fi look. It's got kind of this nice blend. I actually did like some of the stuff, like kind of the tech in the movie. It was kind of like high-end tech with like touchscreens and stuff like that, but it had kind of a lo-fi look to it, like text and things like that on the screens. And I thought the look of the film was cool, except most of the places kind of CG and bland, but there were points in it where they were in specific rooms, like when they were working on like touchscreens and using doors and stuff like that. Although for some reason no door opened in this damn place. I don't know if like somebody they needed a person just full-time fixing doors. But there was some cool stuff in there, some cool tech and stuff like that that I thought looked cool. So I guess maybe it was the aesthetic that grabbed me. It made me think of course, you've got Kristen Stewart's character. I think her name is Nora. She's definitely got some Ripley vibes, but maybe that's what pulled me in. But it's really not, in my opinion, it's not like Alien underwater at all. As far as the other characters go, I liked there was a guy they called the Captain. I think it might have been Captain Lucian. I don't know why he was a captain. That was kind of like, I was like, it's not like they're in a boat. Like they seem to, I think Nora was a mechanical engineer. They seem to be working at a drill underwater. I was kind of like the whole time I was like, why is he a captain? What is he the captain of? But they called him the Captain Lucian, I think his name was. I liked him for the most part, although I'll get into that in a minute. Then there was T.J. Miller's character Paul. Comic relief, okay at first, but after a while I was just like, when is this going to stop? Like, there was too many jokes, too constant. It relieved tension a little bit, but then sometimes it just got annoying, and I was just waiting for, sorry, I was waiting for Paul to get off. As far as the other characters, I mean, like I said, sometimes I was just kind of sitting there like, what were their jobs? What were they doing there? Some of them just seemed like they were tacked along for, I don't even know what for, I guess to drive the story, but I can't even think of what they did that was overly important to the story. I don't know. I just didn't really, the rest of the cast, like, it's, not their fault. I'm sure they're fine actors, but the story just did not give them a chance to breathe, which is, I'm realizing the irony of that statement now. It is a monster flick. The monsters are totally CG. There's a couple of scenes at the start where they're kind of cool looking, but when you get a real good look at them, I think later on in the movie, when things really get panicked, I mean, I don't think they even had great designs, honestly. They weren't very cool. There is another monster that I won't say anything about because it's kind of spoilery, that is really cool near the end. Doesn't get used nearly enough, but I thought it was pretty cool visual. That's all I'll say about that one. But for the most part, the monsters just didn't really do much for me. It's also, I mean, I thought it was a horror movie. I was expecting a horror movie. It's not really. It's like a PG-13 kind of sci-fi-ish horror. Like there's not much in the way of gore. There's a couple of times where they had the opportunity to do stuff that was kind of gory, but instead it was very pulled back, very quick. You don't really get 100% what you're seeing. There was actually one scene where somebody blew up, and I guess I don't want to get into it, but they were like a ball of light. Like, it didn't make any sense. I don't know how to explain it, but it didn't make any sense to me. I thought that it was going to be more horror, a little bit more graphic, I guess, and it was not at all. There's a story there with Nora that I feel like they try to set up. It opens up with like a soliloquy. She's kind of talking about something in her head. You get the idea that she's either in a relationship or was in a relationship or something, and then that kind of, I guess it kind of flows through the movie, although you don't really know what's going on, like I said. And I guess ultimately that's supposed to lead to why she makes the decisions she makes, but I didn't really see how any of that connected. And there's even, there's two characters in the movie that barely talk to each other, if they talk to each other at all. And near the end of the film, you find out they know each other fairly well. I thought that was so strange, and it goes back to my idea that, like, there should have been a camaraderie of these characters. We should have got to meet them and got to know them and get to see how they were friends and stuff like that. Like, I feel like there was none of that, and then they just start going, and it makes you not care at all about the characters or what's going on with them whatsoever. That's my opinion anyway. Ultimately, I can't give the movie more than like a 2-star rating. I just found like points it was boring, at points it was confusing, and I don't know, there was just nothing to write home about. Maybe if there's another edit of the movie that gives you kind of a better idea of what's going on and a better understanding of the characters, maybe that would be the version to see. I've heard that there's a digital-only extended edition, which I'm probably not going to bother checking out. But like a totally other cut, I think, of this film could be interesting. But even then, I don't think it would propel it over a 3-star rating for me. So it stays at 2 stars for me. Did you get to check out Underwater? Did you like it? Did you hate it? I'd love to hear more opinions on the movie, as always, so you can feel free to let me know in comments. and I don't think there was a lot there to make it, you know, to consider it like a really great movie. I just don't get that. But let me know your opinions. Maybe it's maybe you have some kind of a cool insight that I didn't pick up on or something like that that puts the movie over for you. Whatever, let me know. That would be really cool. You can always check out more of my stuff at retrodef.ca. Got a lot of written work up there. There's some other videos and stuff like that. Not much, but hopefully we'll change that in the next little while. And I don't know. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Cheers.